During the first 8 months of that year, the government has expended 58 millions more, 245, instead of 187. None was necessary for an army of 400,000 men. And our army was only 275,000. It is not then the insufficiency of the funds which caused the failure of all the military operations. The different reports of your commissions of finances have already shown that the receipts ought to be nearly upon a level with the expenses. The delays in collecting cannot be attributed to the non-performance of the existing laws, and it is the Directory alone that is responsible for the non-performance of those laws. Ought the legislative body to vote another 100 millions when the millions that were voted were not paid in consequence of the vices of the administration? New taxes would only have increased the deficiency. On the other hand, we have passed very lightly over the contributions of the conquered countries. They have scarcely figured in the picture of our resources. No representatives of the people. It is not the deficit which has caused the misfortunes of the state. It is the system that has been followed by the executive power for this last year. That system has been the most powerful auxiliary of the coalition. It has prepared the successes. It is to that we owe the disorganization of our armies, the pillage and the overthrow of the allied republics, and the momentary weakening of the energies of the republic. Our armies, surprised but not vanquished, the destitution in which they were left could alone have induced them to retreat. Upon the eve of battle, they were deprived of all that could assure their success. They have not been recruited. Their administration has been destroyed and the dilapidations encouraged and unpunished. They have dared to attempt even our arsenals. Since the opening of the session, these abuses have attracted your attention, but your good intentions have been paralyzed. The Directory has daily abused the immense authority that the 18th de Fructidor left in its hands. It has embraced and obstinately followed an odious system, with a review of maintaining itself out of the constitutional line into which it would not re-enter again. It has without shame applied the name of anarchists to all the Republicans. Braving all the councils of the legislative body, it has always marched without looking behind it. Complacence, flattery, and intrigue have sustained it in its march. Where ought it have to terminate? After the disorganization of the armies, nothing could have been more fatal than the deposing of the Republicans. That plan, prepared with sang-froid and despotically executed, produces discouragement. The friends of liberty, treated without discretion, looked upon with distrust. Quit everywhere. The raids of the administration, revolutionary indifference is described and sought after as the first of civic virtues, and men who were too much gifted with that virtue replace in all their municipalities the chosen of the people. The abasement of the legislative body itself would have been accomplished a long time since by the official papers, if it had been as easy to pervert opinion as to abuse the laws. The usurpation of the Directory upon the independence of the popular elections is still more culpable than the audacity of the privileged press. The right of electing is only one which the sovereign people reserved in its days of comitia. To depose a citizen because he does not exercise the supreme right to the pleasure of the superior authority is an absolute sacrilege. After having abjured the yoke of a king, after having broken so many scepters, could the citizens and the warriors patiently support the domination of all the subaltern agents who would make a sport of the civil liberty of individuals as they would with the political liberty of nations? Those petty tyrants treated our allies like their slaves. Italy, Switzerland were becoming their domains. At Milan, they held beds of justice. Every day brought a revolution where the rights acquired were sacrificed to the most capricious aristocracy. They changed thus into regrets and plots the affection and gratitude of the people who were enfranchised by our arms. It was known that some of those simple men who were our elders in liberty desired slavery even in preference. Unworthy chains have charged the hands of the championnat. In short, the fruits of our victories were momentarily lost for the Republic. The cries of the victims immolated by Suvorov upon our frontiers, those of the good citizens oppressed in the interior, must they always find us insensible? No! The misfortunes of the oppressed shall be repaired, the shades of the victims avenged. A new career opens before you. Your permanence will bring a more prosperous day. The directory of the Republic regenerate